Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Queen Missy Tina Talk Show and the King Al Talk
That's
Show.
me.
And I want to say welcome everybody that's here on the panel with us.
Thank you.
Lugo Rosado. I have to say your name first. Lugo Rosado. Lugo Manduele. Woo.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Welcome, Reginald Hughes, and welcome, Jesse Jones. That sounds like Jesse Jones. And you know what? I want to say welcome because we welcome everybody. We have our show each and every week. I don't know if I'm able to mention some of the advertisers, so I'm not going to do that. I just was told. I don't think I can. So I want to say every talented person, whether it is musicians, singers, DJs that have brought the music to our hearts. It just made everything just go tita ta 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 ta. Because I know that some of this music and the songs have done great things in my life. And I just want to say welcome. But I want to start this panel off by saying hello. Hello.
How you doing? How
Hello.
you doing? Hello.
And Puerto Rican, you know,
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
can you say hello?
Oh, I'm
Hola.
sorry. Hola, hola, con my gente, mi gente.
Okay, Reginald, come on, give us. Did you get some? I don't even know. Is it Hawaiian? Hawaii talk? What is it?
Aloha.
Oh,
Aloha.
okay.
Hey, I'm gonna say hello from the way that we say it in Harvey, Illinois. What up? What it do?
What it do? What it do?
But come on, Jesse, give us something from New York.
From New York. I'm a New York and a Chicago man, so so
Forget about it.
yeah. Hey, I'm here. So how y'all doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Reginald, would you do me a favor?
What's that?
Chance to meet you on Facebook. I thought actually we went to school or our family members were familiar with each other, and we got a storm coming. But I was gonna say this here to you. Can you sing just a little bit, and then I want to talk about somebody very special in your life. Can you just give me a little bit of singing? Give it to me.
What you want to hear? You want the new single? You want?
Yes, let's give them a taste of the new single.
You came into my life. You brought me so much joy and happiness. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you. Is that gonna be to a 117 BPM or where you feeling it coming in at?
That intro, that is an acapella. So you can run it into 117, 114, 126, wherever you want to be, the acapella. I got a guy named DJ Kisma from London, UK, and he played the acapella with another drum track behind it with a fast beat. And he's a fast guy, and it was sounding really dope, So with that intro of that acapella, you can use that and come in any type of song you want to play with that vocal, how we got it set up.
Yeah, because I mean, just with the acapella, not only was I'm hearing like anywhere between 117 and 124. I'm thinking some of these southern cats might grab it and chop it and screw it. So hey.
Yeah, but we only gave them enough just to mix in and out. We didn't give them enough to make a song with,
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all to the good.
Yeah, because everybody was saying, Jesse, why don't you want to look up put an acapella? I said, the way people stealing now and taking people's tracks now, you know what I mean? People, they mislead people before we can even, people can even recognize it was our song. They would think it was somebody else's song. They get real fast and put another beat behind it, more singers, and change the whole thing around. So but by not giving them the acapella, because you remember one of the songs that we did here was pretty big here was No More Mind Games. I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. We had an acapella to that, and that was the worst thing we did. We hear it everywhere, on different songs. Yeah. So, but let's go back to Reginald Hughes, and she can ask us some questions, and then we can move on to each individual artist.
Okay, Reginald, how old were you when you started singing with the beautiful voice that you have? How old were you?
That would be about 10 in Shiloh Baptist Church in Waukegan, Illinois.
Do you remember some of the songs? Just give us a snippet of it. A snippet of one of those church songs. Just a snippet.
Precious Lord, Lord, take my hand and lead me home. Oh, let me stand. Just a snippet. Yeah.
Wow, you took me there. You know what? I wanted to grab my wine, and I said, "Oh, I better not do that one."
Funny. Go ahead.
Okay, and I want to ask you about this famous person by the name of Jimmy Hughes. Can you tell me a little bit about Jimmy Hughes? The rhythm?
That's my big brother. Yeah, he in 1968 he had the #1 single on the pop and the R&B charts for a song called "Still Away." He toured with Percy Sledge, who is also my first cousin. So back when I was like 10 and 13, we were going to all of their shows, and I was trying to start singing backup for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Just from me being a part of the industry myself, I noticed that a lot of your most prominent artists all have a church background.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody started out in the choir, they started singing, but then they brought that soul to the streets. And I'm like, that's why it resonates so good to your body, because it's soul music. That same soul comes, it just, once a song is developed soul, it's got a soul to it. Yeah. It's soul. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Soul. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. So I feel it. I'm every time I listen to you, I'm hearing the soul, and you come out, and it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. That's that gospel. Yeah, that gospel, those roots. Because actually, my brother's music actually didn't start out as being R&B. It was supposed to have been blues.
Blues.
Which is the same thing, really.
Right. R&B, rhythm, and blues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into some of the humble beginnings then. Let's take it back to the '80s, if that's cool with you. Can we go back to like '84? And the first time that I think that I really became hooked by house music was when during the days of Jesse Saunders and Frankie Knuckles. They was doing their thing, Move Your Body, and and then you guys came out with this song. And it was just like, if you wasn't leaving the club at 7 o'clock in the morning, hot, sweaty, and wet, then you felt incomplete. And you guys were such a major part of that. And I was wondering, like, did you start out with track records?
Okay. No, how I first got started, I got started out, I was running one of the biggest dance stores downtown Chicago called Loop Records. It was on, first we started on Jackson, and then from Jackson, we moved to State Street. And from State Street, I was supplying all the DJs, like Farley, Hot Mix 5. I was supplying Steve Hurley, Jesse Sanders come in, Jamie Principle, Frankie Knuckles. He has established the real thing with us, and then it was one of the main DJs that was a real close. So Frankie Knuckles was this guy named George, and he was from a club called the Rialto, little small bar, but he played all the latest in the hot house music. Him and Frankie Knuckles, when Frankie closed up his club, he would go to the Rialto, and he would see what George.
Rialtos.
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. But
You're not
anyway,
talking about George Daniels, are you?
I can't remember George's last name, but he was a little short guy, little George.
Oh, no, not George. It was a DJ George. George.
Yeah, DJ George. Yeah. And
Okay.
the club was on Van Buren and right around the new library at now. The club was there, a little small club, but that's why after Frankie closed down the warehouse, he would come there and hang out there. And so, but anyway, so we all got established real good, you know. And then Larry Sherman, before he started putting out track records, he was selling us to the store the cutout records, you know, the old blues and pop and whatever cutout records didn't sell, he was selling to me. So we would sell a lot of his stuff. But then when he found out that I was in charge of the dance department and that Loop Records, we would sell 500 track records a day. And you know what I mean? If he come out with a Fingers, a Robert Owens, or Curtis McLean, he come out with the Marsha Jefferson Jungle Fever, or he come out with the Adonis, you know, he come out with Chippy, anything he come out with, we would sell by numbers, you know what I mean? And people would want to know why they get that. You know, Hot Mix start playing that stuff all on the radio. Kids from all over the suburbs start coming in, and you know what I mean. That's how I got established. And since I had such a good ear with the music, you know, I didn't discriminate against music. You know, I loved it. I loved it. Blues, jazz. You know, I listened to the Groove Washington, AC/DC. Because when you're working in a store, you got to be open-minded. You know what I mean? And so some people come in there, a white guy come in, he asked me for a Doobie Brothers. And if I didn't know it, I'm losing dollar bills. So everything is about money. But that's how I got established. And so from there, Lugo was one of the young DJs. He was like about 15 or 16. And he was spending in clubs when he wasn't even supposed to be in the club at that age. But he used to come to me for the new, because Lugo went around to all the record stores. He went to Imported Cedric, Gramophones. He went to Downtown Records, Rose Records. Lugo go around.
Rare Records.
Yeah, and he was checking out all the record stores. But then he'll come to me and say, Jess, man, you got everything. You got new stuff I never heard. I said, yeah, I go directly to New York. And I get it from this chick I know, her name Mary Ann, and she worked for the big distributor. It's new music that nobody even never broke. Okay. So I broke a lot of records in Chicago. Yeah. So that's how I got started. And Lugo, after he seen who had all the new music, then he started hanging with me. Then Larry Sherman hooked up with me, and everybody was saying Jesse Sanders came out with the first song. Now, I'm not gonna say he might have came out with the first song, but he was playing at that time. It was New Wave, Depeche Mode, and all of these New Wave groups came out. It wasn't house out. It wasn't house out then. Even Jamie Principle came in the store, and he let me hear one of his songs, and it was sounding new wave-ish. So it wasn't house. So they can't say they came out with the first house song. They might have come out with the first song. You know what I mean? I know Jesse Sanders and Vince Lawrence, they had their own little label. They was trying, his label was trying. They wasn't with Tracks at the time. It was Vince Lawrence and Jesse Sanders, but it wasn't house. You know what I mean? Then Track Records started, I don't know what happened, but Larry Sherman started getting all the Chicago artists going to him. You know, everybody was putting out a record on Track, and everything. It was a different sound, and that's when house really got developed. When it started popping at that time. You know, we had the hip house. You know, Fast Eddie came out that time. We had the Latino house with the Jesse Velez. out. Then we had the Mark Imperial Philippine guy. He came out with one of the hot house songs. So at that time, everybody was doing house music. Frankie Knuckles, Jamie Principle came out. I mean, everybody was in the movement. Everybody said, well, who was the first one? Larry Sherman didn't press one artist. He put out 10 artists and he threw them out there. He bring me 10. How many you want, Jesse, of this? I said, well, give me 500 of that. Give me 500 of this. Give me whatever I didn't sell, I'll send it back. But I sold everything right away. I called him back the next day. I said, hey, Larry, you got any more of them? He said, I'm pressing some of them now. I bring them hot. He bring them in the store. They be right off the plant, and they be all wrinkled and stuff and hot. But the kids was buying them like hotcakes. You know what I mean? But like it says, the whole movement in 1984. That's when it all started. The whole Chicago house scene started. You know what I mean? Now some artists was real big in my store, which are like the Frankie Knuckles, the Jamie Principle, the Robert Owens, the Fingers, the Curtis McLean, the Move Your Body, Steve Hurley, the Farley, Farley stuff. Everybody was loving Farley stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Tyree, you know what I mean? These guys was major impact. It was like, and I said Adonis. Yeah.
Gene Hunt.
No, Gene Hunt wasn't out at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Gene Hunt, he didn't come until later. But these, at that time, these are, even Terry Hunter, he didn't come down until late. Right. They didn't come out until the second part, and they started ruling the second part with the Mike Dunn, and that's when the Chosen Few, they came afterwards. But the house movement started with us, with our family. And our family is not too many existed. So what happened, New York really got crazy for me. You know what I mean? They played my stuff in New York, like the Faces song was one of they say it was one of the real original underground exotic songs that they ever heard in New York. And then they played it there so heavily at the Paradise Garage with Larry Levan, and Frankie used to hang out with Larry Levan, and Frankie brought it back to the warehouse, and it stopped popping here in Chicago. But it didn't pop into Chicago until maybe about a year later, but New York was on it all the way. I had my guy started off with, we started off with the name Master C and J. Well, it was C was Carl and J was Jesse, and then we had featuring Liz Torres. That's how we started. But then also that the Master C and J name was the name. We had a bunch of artists under the name, such as Lugo Rosado, Edward Get Down Crosby, Carl Bias.
George.
Yep.
George and Liz, matter of fact.
Yeah. All these guys was under Master C and J. It was part of the group. So I changed them. When I go on tour or something, and one didn't show, one was late, I'll call up one of the other guys. Hey, Edward, I couldn't make it. Could you come? Hey, Lugo suggests I got some gigs to do. I can't tour with you this. So that's how we got started. You know what I mean? And then from there, my wife, she met Reginald Hughes, and when she met Reginald Hughes, she told me, Jess, she said, I got this guy, a friend of mine, and he's got a beautiful voice, and he's real soulful, because I like soulful. See, house to me started out with soulful artists. If you listen to the real house music, it's soulful. It's got meanings and feelings to it. You know what I mean? Which they label everything now. They putting on all the techno and all the rave and everything. They calling it all house, and it's not house. But if you go down to it and you go back to these top 20 artists that I mentioned, you can see why all the soulful came in. And one thing about Lugo at that time, Lugo it was real cool, because I never seen a Latino brother would go to all the underground soulful clubs. And Lugo's his catalog, he was playing all the black stuff, man. I was saying, wow, bro, this Latino brother got some, bro. That's what made him a part of my team, because not only did he was Latino, he can reach out to the Latino market, but also he can reach out to the soul. He fits in with the soul rhythm. You know what I mean? And so a couple of times he was playing in the DJ booth, and you couldn't see the DJ. And when he stepped out, they said, "Why the DJ at?" I said, "That's him." I said, "That's him right there." And they like, "What? That's no way, bro. I thought that was a brother back there." No, that's Lugo there. He always been soulful. But to get back, we're gonna let Miss Black take over her show. I don't want to take over her show. Let her ask the questions that she want to ask. But
this is the first time I heard her be quiet during the interview. So she is definitely interested in everything you're saying.
Those names together, but what I want to ask, I want to go back to Reginald, because Reginald doing all the week of the work, and I want to get to Lugo in a minute, because you have actually told us a lot about Lugo, you know, and I'm sure we have heard some of his music. I have family that's in New York, and I know he has the New York mix. But I want to go back to Reginald. Reginald, once you develop your song, if that was the first one that hits, I'm so happy with the hip hop, with the house music. Did you plan on doing any house music, or where did you guys combine? Where did it combine?
You know, that's good. Good question. I actually did not start in house music. I did actually. I sang background with Sylvester many years ago back in San Francisco, California. I used to open up for like Renee and Angelo, Natalie Cole, Alexander O'Neill. I have a really extensive musical background going on. But like I said, I'm from Waukegan. And by the time I came back home from California, I met Jesse's wife, Molly. And at that time, I was singing, you know, doing a whole lot of different stuff, R&B basically, Luther Vandross covers and stuff like that. And I was all in the circuit downtown Chicago. I'm doing a lot of different clubs like The Basement. I've worked there several times with Angela Martin Fields and, you know, her from American Idol. Sandy Red from The Voice. I've done a lot of stuff with her, stage plays with John L. Ruffin. I love that man so much. You know, but after all of that, I went viral doing a gospel number. I was singing on the bus, leaving a gig at The Basement, and I went viral. And Molly contacted me. She was like, "Oh, I love it. You got to meet my husband. So I had been by the house a couple of times, and I had already met Jesse, but I never knew what he did, you know. and it all just came together after that. Molly put us together. We went in the studio and did Feed Me was the first project. Yeah. Feed Me Your Love, and boy, did I feed them my love. And it all just kind of clicked and came together. It all worked so well that we came with the second project, which is Let's Come Together. And that's personally one of my favorites. I don't know anymore though, because So Happy is one of my favorites now too. But Let's Come Together, I'm like tied up between those two.
Can I play a little bit of it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, so real. Hey, you make me feel.
Hey, this is Coconut, AKA.
Now my love in you. My love in you. I love it.
All righty
what
now.
If you could make a full-time
okay,
living
I'm sorry that part happened.
Meeting up with those guys and getting together with this music.
Yes.
Has been one of the best things that I could have done. I was so glad to get with them because they not only were my homies, but they were going after the dream. You know, I won't even say going after. They'd already established themselves, and us just getting together made a bond. And musically, I just love it.
Yeah, but it was great because we were having fun in the studio, and that what makes it. It was so easy for us because with his voice and our music and our concept, we put it together. You know, you need that soulful voice with some good dance music, and that's what make a good house music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like everything that you do, it's not gonna be a hit, but it's gonna be danceable while you can enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so I say I love it. Everything that we was doing with Reginald was really good, and we wasn't just putting out tracks and just putting his voice behind stuff. You know what I mean? We had him to put his feel into the music, and we did a couple other tracks for Reginald, and Reginald told us, "I ain't feeling it. I ain't feeling no. Come here." We did a track called "Booty." Too much booty.
Oh my God, you named it! How did you name it?
And Reginald said, you ain't getting me to sing on that crap. I ain't singing on no booty. But it's been a lot of fun and pleasure with Reginald. But if Reginald don't feel the music and he don't feel the song, he's not gonna sing it. That's the way it is. And that's a real true artist. That's a real true artist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just so many wonderful memories that house music has given to my life.
Right, and Al, like you said, credit is not due where it's supposed to be done at. You know what I mean? The people who brought this to society and to the world and the house music movement, they not getting all the credit. Here's other people across the world and across other states, and they making millions and getting credit for putting the house on this house and that. But the legendary artist is not getting paid. It's not getting, and also, Larry Sherman from Track Records, he was one of the most big ripoff guys it was. If he would have been good with the artist, he could have been the next Motown for dance music. But he was cheating all the Chicago young kids and all the new artists. You know what I mean? And he kind of put that in a wrong movement. But if he would have did it right, he would have been one of the biggest, like a Berry Gordy of dance music.
Yeah.
But like I said, a lot of people don't. To this day, they still don't know the truth behind house music, and they don't know the story behind house music. They only hear what the public want to feed them to make money off of. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I'm just waiting for your movie to come out because I know you got a movie in the works about it. Come on now. If they can make Cadillac records, you can do Trax records.
Right. And that's true. With me and Lugo's he's been recording a lot of sessions, and we even got films from the old Track Records warehouse and the area while we had Loop Records when Frankie started. And we got all that stuff all ready, but we haven't finished with the documentation and everything yet. But it will be coming, though. It definitely will be coming.
Yeah.
I can remember a time when I started out in this business, and I used to go to this place called Dixie Press to get my albums pressed. And when they would say, I would never invest in a real album. I would always say, hey, send me 100 test press copies, right? And they would send them to me, and I would just hold them up and like, this is me right here. I'm immortalized. I'm immortalized. And I would take them down to George Daniels, and he would be like, just give me 5 of them. 5. He'd take them on commission. I mean, like if I sell them, you get paid. If I don't, then after a little while, I'm sending them back. So many of my records got sent back to me.
and also, Al, I know you remember Rocky Jones' label.
Of course.
Yeah, Rocky Jones. Rocky Jones. He had a lot of the artists too. He had like the Tyrese and the Fast Eddies, and he had a bunch of. I think Chippy was over with Rocky Jones on Underground Records. So, but you go way back.
Was Cool Rock Steady with him as well?
Yeah, Cool Rock Steady sure was.
It's the
You're
new
right.
game. Are you
Yeah.
ready? I'm the rubber cow cool Rush Daddy.
Yeah. Hey, remember Mr. Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good that
Man.
you go back into history. But see, I got documentations. If you go back and look at on all of my records, you'll see Jesse Jones produced 1985. And they say, wow, I was back at, but a lot of people don't know that. Like I said, I remember when Jesse Saunders used to come in the store, and he was like about 18 or 19 when he came Vince Lawson, and they was experimenting, and they was doing new wave. People saying Jesse Saunders he was the first one with house records. That's not true. Who is the first one? Nobody knows who was the first one came out, because Larry Sherman came out with 10 artists at one time. And whatever hits, maybe Steve Hurley might. I know Marsha Jefferson, my two biggest records was Marsha Jefferson and Steve Hurley. Jack Your Body with Keith Nunley and Move Your Body. Them was my two biggest ones.
What about
worldwide? Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, what about Adonis? No Way Back.
Oh. No, Adonis wasn't the first one, but he was in the top 3 seller. He was a top 3 seller. Oh, Adonis, that record still go crazy now.
No Way Back,
yeah, man. And you know how many bootlegs they got of that record? Oh my God. Yeah, and New York, they stole his track and put I think it was 2 Puerto Ricans and a black man behind it. And they stole that, but in the background, if you listen, that's the Adonis record, in the background. But but Adonis told me they got the nerve enough to try to sue him for his own records.
That's a cutthroat business.
Yeah, that is a cutthroat business. Yeah, but like I said, it's a lot of history behind it, and it's not too many people can because see, Frankie not here to talk about it. You know what I mean? Larry Levan here, he's not here from New York to talk about it, because Larry Levan had the biggest club in New York, underground club. Frankie had the biggest underground club here in Chicago. And also, but people leave Ron Hardy out of it. I remember Ron Hardy when nobody knew about him. He was spinning at a place called Our Dens in Old Town. And man, he used to rock that place, bro. Rock that place. And that was the first club that I used to go to. And it was a mixture club. We had drag queens, we had lesbians, we had everything, black, straight, and they all would party together. And Ron Hardy used to rock the place with this one song, Dr. Love. Oh, bro. Man, he used to play that song about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Yeah, we would go crazy with hollering. That was the real party, bro. These people now don't know how to party. You know what they do? They hold up a phone. They get up there. But we used to work it out, sweat. We be dancing, bro.
Listen, bro, when you go in the club for a good house party, when you open the door to come out, it's the sun is bright. You like, I've been here all night. It's a new day. It's like, no, you've been here for 2 days.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So when it comes down to real house dancers and real house artists and real house people, the young generation don't know. They haven't been in the places that we've been. They haven't been to the Paradise Garage. They haven't been to the warehouse, the underground. This is why it all got started, from the underground scene. One thing about the Hot Mix 5 and Farley and them did, they just brought it to the public because they had radio, and they brought it they opened it up, some of the house music. But the real underground house music, if you want to hear some underground house music, you step in them 3 DJs, and you can hear. They make you come out of there. They make you come out of there soaking wet.
Yeah. Hey, we got to give it up to some of the other guys who came after you guys, like Isidore Pink House.
And we got to give it to all our chosen few, because after our generation kind of got out of the picture after Frankie left, and and Larry Levan and Ron Hardy. Then we the chosen few, Terry Hunter and Wayne Williams and Jesse Saunders and Mike Dunn, all these guys came in and they took it over. So they've been taking it over, trying to carry the house movement on, but it's a little different, but it's not like the original, but they still try to keep that flavor in, you know what I mean? And so that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
One thing that something that I heard about maybe about 6 months ago. Something I was talking to this guy and he was saying, well, house music comes in. It just comes in waves. It comes, then it dies, then it comes. I'm like, no, I just think you hanging in the wrong circle, man. Because house music don't never die.
No,
it goes on. It probably miss you.
Right.
Once you house music is going on forever.
Ever. Once you're a real house head, ain't nothing gonna change you, baby.
That's right.
You're gonna hear the old stuff or the new stuff. You're gonna say that's the real house. That's the real underground stuff. And one thing I like about the Europeans, they pick it up. They playing a lot of soulful house over in Ibiza, in Italy, and in Paris, London. They playing that soulful house. They like that R&B. And I was shocked, when I went over there and I seen they were loving the Chicago. They were loving. And I talked to a lot of the producers over there. A lot of them, when Chicago came out, a lot of them ran over here and picked up all the house music and took it back over there. And they developed a much better sound. They use better. They got better equipment, better technology. They got better software. So they made it a little much sounding better. But the original sound, the old muddy sound sounds great.
Right. Yeah, that's that hard right there.
Oh, hey, man, you getting into this. We leaving Paul Lugo out, Paul Reginald out, and we left Miss Blackie out. We just took over her show, man. We got to sit back and let them go.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry, but it's just I appreciate house music. You know what I'm saying? So much that when I'm on the phone with you guys, it's like I'm on the phone with Martin Luther King, with Barack Obama, with Malcolm X. So this is like the interview of my life right here. I love you guys.
Oh man, and that's awesome. That makes us feel so good. You know what I mean? And it's true, and it makes me feel good because I know you was back there when the real thing happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I appreciate you, because when I'm listening to you, I say, oh, he's know what's going on back in when the original house sound started. This is a real true house head here. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. But Miss Black, I'm sorry, we didn't mean to take your show, baby. We didn't mean to take your show.
Baby, you got to get in. Look, I want to talk about your New York mix, and I'm going to play a little bit so they won't interrupt, and then I want you to go forward, baby. They say they ask for laugh. And when I was doing house music, it was AKA, it was Coconut, it was the Warehouse. And my best girlfriend, my other girlfriend was white, so it's Puerto Rican, Black, everybody just,
right.
You know
white,
what I'm saying?
Black, Puerto Rican, everybody just a freaking.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I just have to get in there. So it's up here, look at my grandson. He getting it. Come on, baby. Oh no, he getting it. Come on over here. Just stand behind your grandmama and get it. Y'all gotta see this.
Yeah, see.
You gotta see this. Get it, baby. Come on, stand behind me and get it. Come on, you're on zone. Come on, hurry up.
You got stage fright.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he was getting it.
Oh, yeah.
He was lying.
That's hard. That's what I'm talking about. Run into the young bloods. Run into the young bloods. Let them know what it's about. Real music, real house party. Because back in the days, they had we used to jam to Temptation, Four Tops, the 3 Degrees. I mean, all of the old R&B singers. That was the dance music back then.
Right.
But now it's the house movement. Now it's a different movement. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But like
Wait
I
a
said,
minute.
I'm gonna let you take your show over, Miss Blackie.
You know what? I just want to hear from Lugo Rosado because I want to be able to be one of y'all house music. Lugo Rosado. Come on, tell us about it, Lugo Rosado. Tell us where you started off. He told us, but I want to hear from you.
You know, I grew up in Humboldt Park. I was born in
Woohoo!
Park, but and in Logan Square. But then, back then it was about I started off at the age of 11 years old, and I was doing basement parties in my school, and then it grew on, and I hooked up with some promoters, and it was two guys. They were called Pinky and Julio Morales, and they did these events, and they were promoters, and I used to see them put up posters. Back then, they used to have posters on the poles,
Right.
And they I worked at a restaurant, and they said, "Hey, can we put a poster in your window?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead." And they would keep on putting up, and they were doing these events at halls, because that was a way to make money back then. You can make you could
Right.
you got an entrance fee, and you could sell drinks, right? And then
Uh-huh.
they were early on, and these were high school guys. They were in high school. They went to Clemente, and I said, yeah, let's check it. I was I was like 11, 12. And then I would listen to the radio, the mixes. They had DAI back, disco DAI. But it went on, and I ended up being like a what do you call it, a roadie, right? Because
Uh-huh.
I wanted to get into it because I was doing it when I was a shorty, but I didn't have the skills, so I needed the skills, but there was no mentorship back then. So I hung around with them, and then I met all these DJs: Farley, Kenny, Frankie. I met Jesse, and then he started rolling, because I had these people that they were older than me, that could help me and mentor me. So I'll be, sometimes they would go do a gig, and I would go spin at their club. Like, I was spinning at a 21 and over club called Zach's. It was in Logan Square.
Mm-hmm.
So Kenny would, he'd be racking up. He'd do like 3 or 4 gigs, South Side or whatever, and then I'd be at his club because the DJ booth was closed up. They had a door. They say, "Well, you stay in here. You DJ, don't order drinks, and we, whatever you do, don't come out." Because I was like 16, you know. But
Uh-huh.
back, I was hitting the clothes back earlier because my sister used to go to the original Coconuts. You remember that?
Okay.
Yes.
And my mother would not let her go out unless she took me. And she was in high school. So,
Yeah.
and I said, "Damn, how the hell she got me into a 21 and over club?" She knew that bouncer at the door, and she said, "Here's my brother." And I walked right in, man. I was checking out there. It was cool. It was an experience. I was like, "Whoa!" But that's what these experiences kept me on. And then I started shopping with Jesse, and then I see him at the lake, and because I used to be, I used to do these teen clubs all around. I used to play at the playground with Farley as a guest spot, and
Uh-huh.
then I did some other spots called up on the north side called Janelle's, and there was another place that really took me off called El Mirador, and that was like teens. I mean, like it was mixed, black, white, straight, gays, everyone, gangbangers. They were all together in one place, and it was really cool, because it gave the teens an outlet, for expression
Uh-huh.
and everything in the arts. But then, when I seen Jesse hanging out on the beach, I seen him walking around all cool, Jesse Jones, with the boom box. He had a big old boom box, like huge, like.
They
And
play
he,
they play records, play records.
and it was playing vinyl. I said, "Damn, what's that song you playing?" "Hey man, come on down to my store, bro. I got all this. I got some stuff you can come on down. I was like, I was playing all the teen stuff. And I was like, oh, he got some stuff. He was like jamming, walking in the lakefront. And so I started hooking up with Jesse. Eventually, we kept on, and he would come by the club and um and hang out with me and start giving me all these new promos. Because I would break them. I play them right on the spot. Soulful.
Right. You're right, because if you're playing a new record on the floor, and if your crowd haven't heard it, they won't dance. But if they have heard it a couple of times, they like it. The floor get packed. But if you put a new and so when Lugo will put a record on, sometime a new record I give him, I would get it out of London or New York, and I say, Lugo, no one has played. Even New York is not even playing this song, because the young lady who sold it to me, she said, Jess, she said, I can't understand you. She said, nobody in New York is playing this record, but you're selling thousands of them in Chicago. What's going on? You know what I mean? She said, because I'm breaking them to these kids. They believe in me. They believe in me. Everything that I sell them, I tell them, I'm going to give you 10 records, and I guarantee you won't bring me one back. And if you bring me one back, I give you 2 when you bring it back. And all the kids come in, just every record you gave me was a hit, man. Oh man, and they would come into the store. They have a little radio. Just what is this song? It wasn't no Zoom. It wasn't no right. You know what I mean? Shazam or none of that stuff. And they didn't know what the record was. And then Farley and the Hot Mix 5, Kenny Jason and Scott Smoker Seals, Big Yallo, all these guys, they be playing it. And Mario Diaz, Julian Jump Bread, they all got them in the mixes. But people hear all these songs going in, they want them and they can't get them. You take it to the average store, they lost. They don't know what's up. They bring it to me, 5 seconds, bam. I say, that's so-and-so, boom, I pull it off the wall. He said, what's this? I said, boom, boom. This guy walking out, this kid is like 15, 16 years old, got $100 worth of records. I said, why they get all that money from?
Jesse would bring me these records at the club, and then he would play this, and then I would play it, and then they were used to the stuff the radio music,
right?
And so I would, or stuff that was being played on the mixes. So I would play this new stuff. The dance floor empty out. I said, watch this. I play one of the jams they love. They'll be back on the dance floor. I said, watch this. I'll take it out. I'll put that song they got off on, and they didn't know what to do. They would just stay on the dance floor.
Yeah, they didn't want to sit down twice. You know what I mean? and that's how we would break it. It worked. It break records like that.
Yeah, I trained them. And
you trained
them. They don't do that no more. You train your.
LR.
That's right.
Man, what you was just talking about Logan Square, man. I got to ask you this. Have you ever ate at this little store? It was called Half Italian. It was on Milwaukee. They used to make grinders, sandwiches, and stuff like that.
Milwaukee and
it was right across the street from what was the theater over there? The Logan Theater.
Yeah.
It was right across the street from a little bitty store. It's a Petco right there now, and
it's a Cuban store.
Yes,
Cuban store. They make the Cuban sandwiches.
Oh my goodness, man! Look, I used to stay over there just to say, I want one of these sandwiches when they open. And I mean, it was so funny, man. And just getting back to the music now. Something I just wanted to say about house music, man. You go to a rap concert, 20, 30 guys is getting carried to the emergency room from gunshots or getting stumped out or something like that, a rap concert. You go to a house music concert, I think I've seen maybe one fight break out at a house music, and that was between 2 DJs. Yeah. But a love, man, with house music. House music is spiritual.
Al, you're right about that. You're right about that, Al. I think I've seen maybe one fight between 2 drag queens pulling each other's wigs off. That's the whole time of the house music scene. It's not a lot of violent crime. You know what I mean? They don't try to outdo each other, who's the hardest and who's, you know what I mean? It's everybody go there to have a good time, to feel the love of music. And when that music get into you, oh man, it's a nut. I mean, a lot of people used to ask me, do you get high, man? Because you must get high. Because no. What makes me high is the music. The music, I get high off of good music, bro. You can go in the club, you don't even have, right? You don't even got to drink a drop or take a drug or smoke or nothing. If the music's good, you're gonna get your natural high, you know?
That's right.
And that's how I've been. Yeah, that's how I've been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Black, it's up to you. Your show, baby.
Sure it is. Prove it.
You know, because I enjoyed it myself. But I was trying to pull up some of your mixes. Um, some of the mixes, and I want to ask you guys as a whole before we get into some more music. Where do you see yourself 2022? Where do you guys? What do you all have planned? I want to, if you a little snippet from you on the left, from my left. I want Lugo Rosado to tell me in just a little bit of where you see yourself in about next year and in the future. What's your plans on your house music? Where are you going to take it? What are you guys planning on doing with this new digital generation?
They already there.
Yeah, I just want to know, okay, for upcoming year, where do you see yourself? Are you mixing? Are you still mixing? Are you going to be doing some more music, putting some more music out there?
Yeah, we me and Jesse been at it for quite a while, and I'm determined, and we're just coming out with more songs, and we have Reginald, who's been added as part of the Master C and J. So I think it's only one way to go is up. DJing has been part of my life for over 43 years. I'm not gonna stop that. It's full force, and I'm in it. I'm in it to the end. I think our future for 2022 is gonna be even better. Hopefully, with this COVID thing, we can get more shows. We can showcase Reggie and the band, and myself as a DJ. I think as a new fresh face, because everyone's tired of hearing the same names over and over. But I think it'll be refreshing. Everyone's gonna get to hear Jesse, Reggie, and me. So and the more talent that we're bringing on the label.
All right. So, okay, Reginald Hughes, the famous singer, all the way in
I
Hawaii.
yeah. I
Are you?
I have been here in Hawaii for the last. I've been contracted to be here for 6 months. They just closed down here in Hawaii. I've been working at the Waikiki Beach Resort and a place called Surf. And that was the reason that I came out here. But they just closed the movement down and put the crowds down to 10. So, but I've already had a scheduled plan to come to Chicago. I'll be back there in November 6th. I should be back there. I'm looking forward to doing some more recording with Master C and J. I'm putting together a project because Teresa Griffin, who's a friend of mine, loves this song. And so her and I are trying to do a duet. So we're looking forward to what they're going to write for us, Master C and J, myself, Teresa Griffin. That ought to be really, really fun. I'm looking forward to that. And so next year, what I see is just working more with Master C and J, being back home. I can't wait to come home. Although I love Hawaii, I can't wait to come home. So looking forward to, getting back to work and doing some things, letting this pandemic die out. Also, if I could say this, and Master C and J not get mad at me, we're putting together a tour for the UK too. But you didn't hear it from me.
That sounds
But you
good.
didn't hear it from me. So yeah, some things are happening, and I'm looking forward to 2021. Like I said, the contract that I'm in now ends for what I'm doing. It ends in November. So that's when I'll be coming home in November. And I'm already getting material from Master CJ to get ready to record again. Then I love this song So Happy. So I want to push it as much as humanly possible because it's on my new favorites. It's one of my new favorites.
Okay, well, you're gonna have me. I'm gonna go to the little spots and where they have the house music and tell them, come on, let's get out. I think I still got it.
Have my CD, right? Have my CD version for playing, or have the guys ready with the band. I would love that.
All right,
Love it.
we're gonna send a shout out to Marshall. It's his birthday.
Marshall.
Marshall Thompson, that's my industry father.
I wanted you to
Yeah.
on him.
Marshall Thompson of the Shy Lights, the last living original member. Happy birthday. Larissa, take care of him. I love you. Okay.
Happy birthday, you guys. Okay, so I want to say this here. We froze up a little bit. Jesse.
Yes, my dear.
Jesse, I want to get a chance to meet you guys, but you got to put my name in one of those mixes, okay?
Okay.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit what's going on with you in the upcoming 2022. What is your plans with everybody and, a
Okay.
snippet?
Okay. Myself, I love house music. That's my life. So long as I can keep putting it out. But what I'm not trying to take the spotlight now. I want to be behind the scene, like which are producing, writing rearrangements. That's what I've been doing lately. It's time for me to step up and let the young generation take over. So we got a couple young guys like my son, DJ Kato. These are young kids, and they're working with us. And so we got 2 songs coming out with them on the next 51st Street project. You know what I mean? Also, I got a song that I still did called Party. Reginald is singing with me on that. And I love. I mean, you guys will love this song too, because he's hitting these high notes. Oh my God, he's hitting he's hitting these high notes, and that's one of my favorites that we got coming up for Reginald too. Reginald forgot about Party, didn't you, Reginald?
Man, you're gonna like that.
Yeah, you're gonna like that. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful. Oh man, I mean, it's a party song, but it's throwing out real positive. It's real positive, and it's house all the way. But that's coming up. But my future right now is I'm trying to reach out to the younger generation, and to take them in the right direction while the real house music goes. Why it's going, and so we can spread it and educate the younger generation about the true meaning, the true feeling, and the true sound of house music. So that's what I want to do, because right now society has misled them in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? And I want to take them, the real true. It's I got all kind of house music out there, but everything is not really house. Everything that you pick up, house this, house that, it's not. If you take the real true meaning of house music, it's very soulful and very good beats. Boom, boom, nice underground beats, but the soulful voice. You can hear that gospel feel in that voice. It gives you the spirit. It lights you up like you're in church. You know how you go in church, but this is the underground scene. So, but that's the direction I want to go in. I just want to educate the younger generation, and the spirit I will love out to more people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't know who Jesse Jones and then Lugo Rosado is, or Reginald Hughes is, because we don't have, we can't do them big $1 million videos and spread it all over the internet and social media, and like these artists do. So we had to take it from the underground scene, like same way with Frankie Knuckles. Ron Hardy came from underground scene. You know what I mean? if you wasn't into the nightlife, you wouldn't know who a Frankie Knuckles or a Ron Hardy is. And to this day, people say, "Who's Frankie Knuckles?" But if you into the club scene, a nightlife, or the party life, you would know who a Larry Levan is. You would know who a Frankie Knuckles or a Ron Hardy. You know what I mean? These guys was the trendsetter. And these guys are not living no more, so we don't have a trendsetter. Everybody right now is going in different directions. We got, we went to a couple clubs. Or Lugo took to me a couple clubs, and I remember the club was gay. It was a gay club, And I don't discriminate against gays. You know what I mean? I love gays because they support my music and they support me. And I have the more fun around gays. I party with gays. You know what I mean? So I love to go in gay bars. And that's why you hear the best music and have the best time. And we went to this one gay bar, and Lugo took me to it, and it freaked me out when I went there. They were playing hip hop hard. They were sitting in there being hard. I said, "Oh, gays?" I said, "Lugo, is this, you sure this is a gay bar?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "It's no trendsetter. They just playing what the radio play." I said, "Oh my God." He says, "Jesse," "Jesse, you got to remember, it's no Larry Levan, it's no Frankie Knuckles. It's nobody to lead the people into the right direction of club and dance music." You know what I mean? And I sat back and I thought, I said, "You're right," because everybody all over Chicago is playing a different type of music. And don't get me wrong, because I love R&B. I love hip hop. You know what I mean? But it's a certain place where you can go hear this underground music. When you used to go hear the underground music, it was in the nightlife. You know what I mean? And it'd be a mixture of crowd. It could be straight, it could be gay, it could be lesbian, it could be black, it could be white. You know what I mean? But now it's no direction. It's no direction. So, but like I said, I just want to spread the house music and the house love to people who don't know the experience about it. And that's my next direction that I want to go.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And just piggybacking on what you was just saying, you have to be a real narrow-minded person if you discriminate any form of music because it's made by a white person or a black person or a Latino. Music is music. Music don't have a color to it. I can prove it to you with Ram Jam with their remake of Black Betty. Come on, man. That song took off like, whoa.
Oh, Al, this is what I wanted to tell you too. They had a thing out about black people was done by house music was done by only black people. Now, 1985, I toured around the world. I went to Tokyo, Switzerland, London, Germany. I went all these places performing. And in my group, my lead singer was Liz Torres. You know what I mean? She did the No More Mind Games. I can't get enough. She was. They used to thought she was black, but she was Latino. She had a soulful voice. So, but in my group, I had two blacks. It was Edward Get Down Crosby. I had Carl Bias. You know what I mean? These are brothers. Then I had Lugo. He's Latino. Then I had Liz brothers. I had 2 or 3 of her brothers touring with me. They was all Latino. Then I had my drummer was a live drummer. He was playing the Simmons, and he was Italian. So we toured, and it was a mixture of group. And nobody looked at that. They didn't even notice that. They were just, this group is hot. This got the new music, the new sound, and we toured all over, and they went crazy. You know what I mean? So you don't look at that like you say. If the music is good, people are gonna like it and respect you for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And no one can never label and say, black started it, Latinos started. You know, maybe one might hit faster than the other one. Maybe the Marsha Jefferson was all done by brothers. That hit is one of the biggest worldwide Move Your Body, and the Steve Hurley. These were my 2 biggest house records, and from there Then we start going down to Robert Horns and Fingers, you know what I mean? And then it start going down to my guy, but my Adonis had like the #2 record or the #2 dance record. It was because they just loved the groove to that Adonis track, man. That Adonis track. Yeah. But then, you know, but like I said, we got a lot of Chicago artists that we left out that I probably didn't mention.
There's so many you can't mention.
Right. But I sold all of them records like crazy, you know, and like everything from DJ International to Track Records. And at that time, I had my own label out because I was getting screwed by Track Records, and I feel that when I came out with Mind Games, I was on Quest. That was my first record with me and Carl did with Liz. And so at that time, I seen all the money, and that's when I opened up. I started my own label with a partner of mine who the owner of Loop Records was Dan Snyder, and we started the record label State Street Music. And I did Fantasize Me on there with me and Carl. Fantasize Me, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so that was my label. Yeah, that was my label, State Street Music. Yeah, and so I had Face It on there, and I had When You Hold Me. We had it. I started that with Track, but I had to break away from Track. When You Hold Me, but like I say, I had like maybe 6 or 7 strong titles on State Street Records. I couldn't do no more because they started calling me around the world to perform, so I couldn't run the label to add new artists. But we had a whole list of Chicago artists that wanted to be on my label. They was bringing me at downstairs in the basement of the record store. I had 2 tall tapes of Chicago artists bringing me the house tracks, man. Wow. And I had to sit there and listen, man. I'm gonna put this on the label. But after I took off with the group so big, I couldn't keep the label going. You know what I mean? And so and then after that, we moved on to the next segment. And I think what happened after Larry Levant, I never had big promotion. My big promotion was Larry Levant and Frankie Knuckles. So them the 2 guys, they come in the store, and if they liked something that I did, it was over. You know what I mean? And I didn't need no radio. I didn't need no video. I didn't need nothing. Them 2 guys, they pump it and it's over. You know what I mean? But see, I don't have that now. So now we have to work with social media. So we're working with social media. So now with the Reginald video, we getting a lot of feed. Did you see the new Reginald Hughes video?
Yeah.
So happy.
I haven't seen it yet.
YouTube.
We
got CJ YouTube channel.
Yes, we're getting so much love all around the world on that. UK is going crazy, and a lot of European countries. Yeah, we getting a lot of love. The video only been out in 2 weeks, and it's over 5,000 views and over 2,000 likes. And we had no promotion. We got no promotion. Just the word of people who like music, who feels it. Yeah. So, but anyway,
word of mouth. Wow.
Yeah, word of mouth. So, but anyway, I'm gonna let Miss Black take her show over. I don't know why me and Al, we can go on. Me and Al, we can go on. We can talk about this all night, man.
Yeah, it's love. It's all love.
Part two.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, see, I can do a mix on this here, on you talking. I can put something together on you talking, and be house all over again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But you know what? This is good information that you got, that some people would love to hear and know the real truth behind the house history. This is the real true story of house music. And like I said, I never took the credit. I used to tell people, hey, I'm not the first of house, and I'm not the king of house, but we're the masters of house. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So like I said, I don't take the credit saying I was the first and I'm this and I'm that, but we are the masters of the house. And you see right now, the masters are still here. They still hanging in here now. 1985, and we still here. How many masters, how many people been doing house music still in the scene now?
Not many.
Not too many. Not when that came out. Yeah.
Now that's what you call the chosen fruit for real.
Yeah. That's true. You're
Yeah,
right. You're right.
yeah. But you know what? It's like that's a beautiful thought. It's like, you know, you don't have to pat yourself on the back. If you have to pat yourself on the back,
Mhm.
you ain't did nothing.
Right.
So
That's true.
allow me to be the one of the ones lately that is
Hmm.
patting you on your back metaphorically right now, because you guys are not only innovators, you are recreators, you
And
demonstrators, and
and
man, I just want y'all to never stop.
and you know what people say too? They say one thing I like about Master C and J, you guys are not followers. You're leaders. So
Right.
you do your own style of your music, your house music style. You're not copying the next guy, or you're not trying to do what the next guy is doing. You're doing what you feel, what we feel like that makes the people dance and feel good to them. You know what I mean?
Not only
And
that, we inspire the young generation too, Jesse.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
and like the video that we just did, we had a lot of young we had Cato, we had Sebastian, who's part of the
Mm,
master team, J production team. He helped
mm,
create some of the stuff. So we
mm.
we involve we bring in some of that young talent to come
Uh, right. So like I said, we're not trying to take the spotlight, but we trying to keep the movement going. You know what I mean? Just like
Uh-huh.
the movement of, you see Jesse Jackson and his movement. Jesse Jackson, when Martin Luther came out, he was the spotlight, but
Hmm.
he got out of the spotlight, but he kept the movement going. You know what I mean? So
Right.
so that's what we doing with the music. That's what we doing with the music.
Okay, you don't have it. Okay. I'm sorry.
I think you want to hear you, if you want to get Al jumping, you want to throw that face it on for Al.
Jason.
Master Team face it. Here you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Hey, I'm telling you, listen. If you wasn't coming out the club soaking wet, I mean, somebody if the best thing somebody could have did back in those days was
Hmm.
sell bottled water.
Oh, they would have been rich. They would have been
That would have
rich.
been right. We was in the bathroom drinking out of the nasty sink, just trying to kill our parched throats and everything from screaming. But
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah,
it.
yeah, like you say, Al, they don't do that. Like, they don't know what that is. Now it's like you say, it's the smartphone. They just hold a smartphone up. But if they would have know how to real house heads party, they would say, wow,
Yeah, they gotta have the experience. They gotta have that
yeah,
experience.
yeah, they
Bro,
haven't
look,
had that. Yeah.
I would be so into the zone that if I'm dancing after I'm all danced out, I would literally walk over to these massive speakers and hug them and let the vibration just move my body. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what a wonderful feeling that was.
It
Even the
was.
smell of the smeak, the smell of it, it's
That's
like,
true.
man, is this plastic or leather, whatever it is, I'm holding on.
That's
The
true.
DJ be like, hey, let it go, let it go. You gonna pull a wire out? It's barely in there. I'm like, no.
How old were you?
Yeah.
How old were you, Al?
Well, look, I'll be 60 years old this year.
I mean,
So
back
I was
then,
in my 20s. I was in my early 20s,
early
like
20s.
like 20, 23, 22. Back in the
Mhm.
day.
Oh
Jackie,
my
you were holding
God.
that
It was,
speaker and everything, huh? You're on that
man.
thing.
Look, I was holding the
Hey,
speaker
hey,
and the
Al.
vibration. Yeah.
And one thing about that, you didn't need a dance partner, did you?
No, hell no.
That
Everybody
like,
was the partner.
that's right.
You look, you would turn around, and you know how you dance and you just spin around, and next thing you know, somebody behind you just jacking it.
That's right. That's
Jack,
right.
jack, jack. You're like, move your body. You
You
just like,
right.
yo, who are you?
You didn't need no partner show then. You just if
Oh,
you feel like dancing, you just get out there, and the people didn't look at you like you was crazy. He dancing
no.
by he dancing by himself. No, that was no. You get out there and just
Yeah,
have
we would leave a house party, and then afterwards go down to Maxwell Street and get one of those
polar
onion
sausages.
filled Polish.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you had to do all your kissing and everything before you ate the Polish because she wasn't having it.
Right.
Oh,
That's
She's
true.
like, no, too much onions.
you go out
Okay,
with
Miss
your
Black,
girlfriend.
we're gonna
Man,
let me let you take it back, and we don't want to hold you up, and we can finish this out. If you got any other questions that you would like to ask us?
I'm gonna say you would go out with your girlfriends because you're mad at your guy and they play house music and you say you're not gonna dance. And then the music go like this. And you sitting there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And you said you wasn't gonna dance that night. All of a sudden, that house music gets up, and it'll get you right on that floor. And I remember that.
Yeah.
That's it.
I want to thank everybody that I mean, you guys were like family. You guys did something for Al. Al enjoyed every bit of this here. We want to give a condolence out to anybody that's going through a bereavement in their family, and anybody that's having a birthday during this month, or we don't know how this is going to be aired. So if it's your birthday and you're listening to it, happy birthday. And if you're going through something, we give our love and our peace out to you guys.
Oh,
and
thank you.
if you want any information about 51st Street, please
Yeah.
leave the information where people can reach you and get in contact with you, in touch with you. And we're going to
Awesome.
sign out.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Hey, before we dash up out of here, just a quick question.
Uh-huh.
You guys do you have any events that's coming up? I know this is a COVID thing right now, but do you have anything on the in the horizons that may be coming up or?
No, not at this moment, because we had I had told my manager in New York, which was Glenn Pinkley, Underground for Life, that we wasn't taking any shows right now,
Okay.
because right now the 51st Street, we're trying to build that catalog up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we want to get that catalog built up, because if we do the tours, I don't want to just tour with me and Lugo and Reginald. I want to tour with DJ Kato, my son Jesse Jr., and maybe the female artists that we're going to be working with Reginald. I want to come and bring a team. So we're trying to get that label established, 51st established, and then we can start taking tours. So when people come to see the show, we got a little underground, we got a little soul, we got some everything happening. They're just not
Right.
one board artists. Why when they pay their money, when they talk about it, they say, "Oh man, the Master C and J show was dope." It wasn't just Master C and J. They come with a bunch of talented artists. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to leave the impact on, a Master C and J show. So that's what we're working on right now, the catalog for the new artists and stuff like that.
Okay. Well.
Plus, I want to get. I definitely want to get another strong Reginald song out too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, look, LRJ. Let me just say this: y'all are loved by many. Y'all are loved. If you ever feel emotionally like let down or anything, all you have to do is just put a shout out there on Facebook. Who really love me? And you're gonna go viral.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And like I say, you don't know how many people that loves you and appreciate you and love your music until you pass. And when you pass, you see everybody shouting out the world. But like I said, a lot of people like you, they don't show it. And a lot of people, when you come out with your music, they're not gonna run to Facebook, Instagram, and like it and say this, because they don't have time to go in and share. But they say, "Oh, I love his music. Oh, I love it." So you got a lot of people, a lot of fans like that too. So, but now the way they got social media set up, they got social media set up by numbers, and it ain't about numbers. Oh, he did 5 million followers. He got 1 million followers. This and that. That's making you popular. Here's a person that's not talented, and he's got 5 million followers. Follow him for what? Because he did something stupid on the social media. Follow people with talent that put it together, that make people feel good and make people go out and have a good time. Because if you hear good dance music, you forget about all your problems and your trouble. But when you go back home, they still there. But while you out.
Yeah.
For that moment, right? Just for that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, guys.
thank you for being an incredible part. Like I said, an incredible part of my life. And like I said, I'll be 60 in December. But you guys, like Sylvester say, you make me feel
Mighty real.
yeah. But
Yes.
thank you guys for keeping
And,
me
and,
young.
and
You guys keep me
thank you
young.
guys
I greatly
thank you
appreciate
guys for believing us and having us.
Definitely. Don't forget to check us out.
Information. Where do they look for you guys? How can they find you guys?
Okay.
it. Look what I was
Also,
about to tell me.
I'm gonna
you can
tell you, hey, we have our Master C and J YouTube channel. Follow us, like us, share it, tell your friends about it, make a comment, and we also have a Facebook, Instagram, right?
and also just go to Google and put in who's Master C and J, and they'll tell you the story about us and all the music and the videos will pop up. Google will tell you. You just say who is Master C and J, you know, and everything will just pop up. You know what I mean? It tell you to bring all the old, and then if you want to see videos, sometimes you say Master, who is Master C and J? Just say Master C and J's video So Happy, and everything will pop up. So the new stuff, the old stuff, and all that, you know. So, but they starting to recognize us. You know, we're on a lot of the platforms. You know, Mixclouds, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. So we on a lot of major stuff now. They starting to wake up and realize the real artists of house music now. And this just started happening in the last 6 months, because stuff I didn't even know when I said one day I got on I said, who's Master C and J? And they said Master C and J are original legendary house artists from Chicago. Jesse Jones and Lugo Rosado, who came back. They back now. They revised them with the new generation. Google said that, and I said, "Wow, that was somebody's doing something right." So that make you feel good when you can go like that, you know, because not a lot of house artists is like that. And then they giving me really good. They giving us good love on the YouTube and on
Spotify.
the YouTube, Spotify and the Google.
We each have an artist page on Reginald Hughes has one on Spotify. I have one, and so does Jesse, and including the band Master C and J. So follow us on there. And
so it's easy. It's easy to find out about us. All I have to do is, like it says, either YouTube it or Google it. If you Google it, Google will give you a choice. You know, they give you a choice. Sometimes they bring up on the Spotify, or bring up on the YouTube, and you know, and then they tell you the little history of some of the songs that I did back in the days. And a lot of people don't know to this day. I was walking the streets not too long ago, and I went into this barber shop, and the barber, the guy, he said, "Oh, Jesse," he said, I remember you. I used to play your music. Face It, man. I love Face It. And then then another guy came in. He said, "Wow, that's my song." And he said, "Yeah." He said, "That's the guy made it." He said, "That's the guy made it." He said, "No way." He said, "I thought that guy was from London or Europe somewhere." He said, "Man, no way. You're from Chicago. I never seen you, never heard of you. Oh man, that shit. I thought that song was from somebody, you know what I mean, out of over New York somewhere." But it was amazing. I'd say, "No, I'm from Chicago." You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was amazing, because you know how people don't know you, but when they hear your music, they recognize you. You know what I mean? And that's cool, because sometimes you don't have to be in the spotlight on everything. You know what I mean? You know, so it was kind of cool that I kind of stayed low here. I'm from Chicago, and I stayed low, and everything started popping up all everywhere. And then when they do get to know you, they appreciate you more. You know what I mean? Just like you, Al, you said, "Oh man, I got them on my show. Oh man, that's a pleasure." You know what I mean? And so it feels good to hear.
You don't
that
know how you move people, man. Each individual is moved in a way that you probably I know you felt the love of the crowd, but on an individual level, man, people know you guys, like, and you don't know none of us, but we know you.
Oh, wow.
And it's like wow, you don't know what your music and your talent and the era of the music did for myself, my soul, and for my family. My kids grew up. My kids listen to house music. And I'm like, I mean, and I'm an old guy, but I got young kids. I got a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 14-year-old too. So they grew up. And look, I'm still making that. Matter of fact, I better not. My wife won't let me touch her too much. my wife won't let me touch her too much no more.
I guess not.
Right. She's like, no, you aim it over there, buddy. You go over there with the yeah, but hey, the good Lord give it, the good Lord give it, and the good wife take it.
That was mind blowing that he said that. The good Lord giveth. Wait. He said the good Lord giveth and the good wife taketh. I won't forget that. I won't forget that.
Yeah. Well, listen up, guys. It has been a meeting of love. It's been a meeting of just, oh my goodness, this means so much to me as far as an interviewer, someone who's a great fan. And this, like I said, if I don't do another show ever, this show right here is the one that I rank highest in every show that we've ever done. And I greatly appreciate
it. That makes us feel so good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Another one, we will be better together. Much more. I will stop cutting you guys off because that's what I do. But guess what? We're going to go out. Reggie, I love you. Lugo.
Rosado.
And Al, and check this out. Here you go, Jesse. And I'm going to say good night to all. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Peace be with you guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, see you guys later. Yeah. Hey, we're going to house it out. Hey.
Somebody.
See you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you as well. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.